All right, so thank you for joining us. Welcome to everybody. For anyone who might not know, I think I know everybody on the call, but I'm Melissa Kramer, and I'm super excited to have you guys on our call tonight, our second of three calls that are all talking about just focusing our time and our efforts on helping others, essentially. So whether it's customers or compliant testimonies, and next week we'll talk about helping our ambassadors. So I want to talk first. Today is the 18th of the month. So the month is like 2/3 over. And so I want to make sure that you are set to finish strong. Make sure that you use these next 12 days the best you can, posting on Facebook, following up with people, encouraging and supporting, and really learning and growing. We have a lot of great ways that you can learn and grow in this business. And so I hope that you will use all of those and jump in and really get going with the business and keep going with the business because it's incredible. We have a 7-day challenge that is coming up. That is where people can buy 7 sticks of Slim, and then they will be able to join us in a Facebook group where they will get encouragement and support and be able to just kind of feel the camaraderie of everyone else in the group, feeling better, liking the drink, and encouraging and supporting them like each other. It's a really neat way that our customers actually sell the product to each other, essentially. So if you can get people in on the 7-day challenge, that is fantastic. And then remember, we have weekly team contests that are going on. We actually just finished a Blitz contest that ended on the 15th. And I need to get a winner for that, so I'm making myself a note right now. I'll do that when this call is over. Okay. And we have a weekly contest that goes every week, and they ended the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and then the end of the month. All right, so I think that's it for administrative stuff. We are going to hear from Crystal, who is going to give her testimony. So Crystal, if you can unmute yourself, that would be great.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, great. Okay. So we started Plexus products about a month ago now, last May. And
a year ago.
A year ago, that's what I meant. A year next month. I think that's what I was getting at. A year ago, last May. It's been a long day. And we originally started because my youngest, Ella, she would get this rash all over her face and kind of a bellyache every time she would eat or drink anything with milk in it. And so we decided that we would try her on a probiotic, and Melissa told me about this Plexus probiotic, and I thought she was crazy, but then I finally listened to her, and we tried it, and within a couple weeks, her rash went away, and we started reintroducing foods to her, and she's very happy that she can eat string cheese now and butter on her popcorn. Very excited. We started Ava on the ProBio and the BioCleanse too at the same time. She's 7, and she had issues going to the bathroom. It just didn't happen every day for her. It hurt her to go. It would take her a long time. She would miss school because her tummy was hurting. She goes every day now. It's amazing. It's like a different child. Also, she would always, this time of year, be stuck inside because her eyes would itch and her nose would run. And it was just like, I mean, she could not even play outside. And we played outside all afternoon today. And she hasn't had itchy eyes or runny nose this whole little springtime we've had so far. So we're fingers crossed that that has been a major change for her. I started on the triplex at the same time, and just the energy that I got from it was great. Sleeping through the night, waking up rested. I used to just put my kids back in the bed with me when they woke up, and like we would watch like Dora or something just till the last minute possible to get up. I was up like way before them this morning, ready to go. It's so great. I also had some tummy issues after I had Ella. Those are gone. I stopped drinking sweet tea, which is like a big deal for me. I was drinking like McDonald's sweet tea every day, lots of sugar. I don't even like it anymore. Tastes gross. Chase started on the triplex at the same time too, and he noticed a lot of the energy increases. We don't need coffee. But he went to Iraq and Afghanistan 3 times. And when he came back from Afghanistan about 3 years ago, he was just grumpy and he was having really bad nightmares and just wasn't himself. And he would have these horrible nightmares where he would just wake up in the middle of the night screaming and yelling and, thrashing his arms around. And they would wake me up. Our kids couldn't sleep in the bed with us. They were very traumatic. And those kind of slowly started to decrease. And I don't even remember the last time he had one. It's been a long time. And that was totally something that we never even thought this would help. Like, that was never even in our heads that would help. And it's been like such a huge blessing for us. We only started because of Ella, really. And all the other things just, are like extras that we're so, so grateful for. It's been amazing.
That is so awesome. I love that. So, and definitely I love the surprise blessings. Those are always the best.
I never even, no one ever recommended like a probiotic or anything like that for that. And, just that it helped was amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love that. All right. Can you mute yourself? Thank you. I just went to mute myself again, which, I did one time and just kept on teaching. Not so much. Okay. So tonight we are talking about customer expectations and support. So what I'm going to talk about tonight specifically is after someone has joined as a customer. So we have lots of trainings that have already been done and will be done on getting customers. You can always look out at our team page and out at YouTube to find out about those. But tonight we're specifically talking about, okay, we have a customer. What do we do with them? So I hope you're taking notes. And so you're going to get an email or the customer is going to tell you that they've joined. They're usually very excited. And so they're going to message you and say, hey, I ordered my products. Or you're going to get the message, the email that says you have a new customer. From then, the first thing I go in and do is I send them a message. The same way they've been contacting me is how I contact them. So if someone's texting me, I'm going to text them. If someone's sending me private messages on Facebook, that's how I'm going to reach out to them because that's how they reached out to me. And I'm just going to say, oh my gosh, I saw your order go through. I'm so excited for you. I'll send you some information on how to take your products really soon. And that's all I say because it's going to be a few days until their products actually arrive. I am going to talk about expectations later. So one of the things I might say here is products can ship as quickly as 24 hours. Sometimes they take a week to 10 days, depending on how busy things are. So I'll check back with you and we'll keep track of your product order. So again, I'm setting the expectation and we'll talk about expectations more. Do you have, mine's buried. My house is under a little bit of construction, but I have a calendar buried under here. My goodness. Okay. Calendars are awesome. Have a calendar and write the person's name on your calendar for 3 or 4 days later. And so when that day comes, then you know, oh yeah, I need to check back with Jenny. She ordered on Monday and it's Thursday. And so that few days later, I'm going to send a message. Jenny, I'm super excited for you. I saw you ordered the triplex or whatever she ordered. Let me tell you how to take the products. Let me tell you how I take the products. And so I make sure that they know a little bit about how to take the products. Now, I'm not talking a paragraph here, y'all. I'm talking 2 or 3 sentences. Every time I'm talking to you about following up with somebody, it's brief. It's quick. It's not something that they're like, oh, good gracious, I can't read all this. You want to tell them, mix your Slim in room temperature water to get it to dissolve. You want to tell them the tricks, you know? You want to tell them how and when you take your products or how and when most people take that type of product if it's not a product that you take. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more too, but you might be thinking right now, well, I don't know how to take the products. I'm brand new. Okay. If you don't know how to take the products, there are a lot of places you can learn that. You can watch product videos. I have one. Amy or Ame Darling has one, AIMEE Darling, DARLING, has many product videos out on YouTube. And I have a product video out on YouTube. You can do research in your back office. You can search on Facebook groups, my Facebook group, your upline's Facebook group, and then you can ask your upline. I would advise that you go through the different steps first. You notice that asking your upline is the fourth thing that I brought to your attention. It was not the first. So you need to learn to do a little bit of research and digging on your own first. Everyone does. In order to then, after you've done a little research and you still have questions or you're just like, I'm not real sure, then ask your upline. So that's what we're going to do if we don't know what to tell the person. So we've checked in, we've said, hey, I'm so excited for you, so they know we saw their order. A couple days later, we've sent them information on how to take the products. A few days after that, again, you've marked your calendar for all these days that you're going to check in. We're going to ask them how they feel or ask them if they've received their product. Hey, did you get your product? What do you think about the Slim? How did you love that Slim? Something positive. I love the taste of Slim. What did you think of it? You know, something that just kind of engages them a little bit, gets them to answer you. It also will help because they might say, I don't even have my product yet. Okay, no problem. Let me look into that. Or I got it and I just haven't started. Okay, let's set reminders in your phone. You know, jump ahead of things instead of waiting 3 weeks to contact somebody and then them go, I didn't really know what to do, so it's just been sitting on my counter. We check in routinely with someone so that we're always coaching and guiding, and I always call it being the cheerleader. So we want to be a cheerleader for them. I like to give a little bit of a tip at this point. So I might say, hope you're loving your products. I love the taste of Slim. I'm sure you do as well. Hey, about that bio cleanse. I know I told you to start with only 2 a day. If you're not going to the bathroom 1 or 2 times a day, let's increase that and take a couple more throughout your day. If you're going too much, why don't we decrease that? So I don't actually have to hear from the person before I've already given them a tip that they can use to figure out how they want to take their products. Sometimes people reply to you every single time you message them, and sometimes people don't. But no matter what, I want you to constantly continue in a good routine of follow-up. Even if you followed up on the first day, I'm so excited, and you heard nothing. You follow up a couple days later and you give details on how to take the product and you hear nothing. You follow up a few days later, give that bio cleanse tip, which literally is what I do for everyone, and then you hear nothing. That is okay. It really is, and it happens a lot to me. It really does, and that's okay. It's important that we just continue to give these people information, and it's available to them. They'll probably read it and might be really busy and mean to reply and just not do it, but that's okay. So again, if you have a conversation going with someone, then great. Just work out that conversation however it falls out. But say you still haven't gotten a reply back. I would still reply back in about another week, week and a half. Hey, so what's your favorite thing about these products so far? Are you seeing better sleep? Are you having fewer cravings? Do you have more energy in the afternoon? Plant some seeds in their heads of some of those non-scale victories that we see. They might say, nope, not seeing any of that yet. And you say, okay, that's okay. Keep working. You know, these products take time, but these are the things to be looking for. Or they might go, oh yeah, I totally am sleeping better, and I hadn't thought of that. So, you know, you never know what they're going to say, but no matter what they say, you're a cheerleader. And, you know, there's no, oh, I'm not sleeping better yet. Oh, I'm sorry, maybe it doesn't work. Or, oh, we need to change something. There's none of that. Just, okay, keep plugging ahead because the products work and I'm excited for you. And, you know, it just might take a little more time, but I know it's going to happen, you know, rah, rah. That's what we do. I'm telling you it works. And then every couple weeks, I'm going to follow up to the point where I just follow up with people monthly once they get on a good cycle with their products. And so every single customer I have, even the ones that I've literally had for 22 months now, I follow up with them at least monthly. And I tell them something different, or I just see how they're doing, or I just ask about their kids. I might not even say anything about Plexus, but they know I'm there and they know I'm available to always answer questions and to help them. So that's kind of like my schedule. And again, put it in a calendar because you're not going to remember this. And I mean, maybe some of you will, but I wouldn't. I would never remember this. And once you have 3 or 4 customers, then you're following up at different points with different people. So you might be on day 1 with one person and 3 weeks in with another and a week in with a third and, you know, still in discussions with somebody who hasn't ordered. If you're not putting that information down somewhere, then people are going to slip through the cracks and you're going to forget to follow up with them. The people who have the hardest time with these products are the ones who don't have a cheerleader. The ones who someone kind of ignores them or lets them go for too long and they don't know what to do and they feel like they're bugging the person and they get stuck and so they quit. Or they don't see results, but nobody's cheering them on. Nobody's saying, you know, it's okay that you're 7 weeks in and you haven't lost weight yet. That's okay. You know, that happened to my friend Melissa. You know, that happened to so-and-so. That happened to this one, you know, whatever. If you're not there to support them, they will quit. So it's important to get ahead of it constantly. Don't have a fear, oh, if I check in with her, she might not be happy. Check in with her. If she's not happy, address it right then and help to support that person and encourage them in whatever way you can. So that kind of talks about some of the support, but let's talk about expectations. And these can be kind of scattered throughout. This can come into you setting expectations before somebody has even joined as a customer, in the middle of the joining process, like when they're actually asking you, what is your website? How do I do this? Or even as they become a new customer, helping them to learn and grow and support them. So these are some expectations that you should set. Do not let them think that their life is going to be completely changed in a week. Whether it's through your Facebook post, whether it's through your conversation, sometimes it feels like we have to hype something up because we really want the sale. We really want the person to try it. We really know their life is going to be changed. And so we feel like we've just got to make this so good they can't pass it up. That can end up kicking you in the butt because the last thing you want to do is set somebody's expectations so high that when they start on the products and they feel nothing in the first week, perhaps, because that can happen, then they're like totally deflated, totally disappointed. We don't want to do that. We want to set a reasonable expectation. Tell them up front that the products take time to work. Let me see what else goes with that one. I tell people to commit mentally. I always tell people you need to mentally commit to 60 to 90 days with this product. And that way they know that they, you know, if they don't feel anything in 30 days, then you can go back to them and say, okay, now remember, I told you this could take up to 60 to 90 days. You are worth it. Put the time in, you know, keep at it. I promise you this works. And again, that might be a good time to give a testimony like, here's my friend Melissa who didn't lose any weight for 9 weeks. Here's my friend Susan who, you know, felt terrible and gained weight the first week, but then felt amazing, you know, afterwards or whatever. There's lots of different people that you can kind of share about who've had situations that weren't just, you know, instantaneous. When you're talking to people about the products, tell them, hey, this is how I started on my products, but we might need to change this up a little bit for you. So I never let somebody think that if the way we start the products doesn't work, that's it. That you know, it better work this way or we're done. It's nothing like that. I always say something like, I'm going to tell you how I take the products, and then let me check back in with you in a couple of days and we'll see if that's working for you. If not, we'll tweak it and change things around. And you have to be open to changing around how people take the products. And we're going to talk about a little bit of product tips in a minute. So you tell them you're giving them a way to start the products, but it might need to be changed up. And you're not being negative. You're just being truthful. You're just opening the possibility that in the future, this might not be the same way the person takes the products. And that's fine. That's okay. It's not cookie cutter. It's not, one product and one way fits everyone. I said this before, talk about shipping times vary. I always, when somebody place an order, I say something to the effect of, you know what, some days they are on it and stuff ships in 48 hours. And other times they are so busy, it takes 7 to 10 days. So I hope you're closer to the 48 hours. It could be a week and a half. I'll be watching for the tracking information for you. And then I really do, because I mark my calendar, hey, check Sally's tracking, in 3 days or 5 days or whatever, so that I can keep up with that and know whether her order is going to ship properly or not. And I always, because people focus on weight loss, I always tell them non-scale victories are going to come first. And I give them some ideas of what those might be. And then I always tell them, do not expect to lose any weight for the first 30 to 45 days. And then I always say, hey, you certainly might lose inches, but stay off that darn scale and don't worry about what it says for at least 30 to 45 days. Now, whether they listen to me or not is their own choice. But at least if they start complaining to me 2 weeks in, I haven't lost any weight, I can immediately say, girlfriend, I just told you not to get on that scale for 45 days. What are you doing? This is not a get skinny fast, scheme or whatever. And then I can just kind of, lighten the mood and say, it's okay. You stick with it. You're doing awesome. Again, rah, rah, cheerleader. Because everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a cheerleader. That's what they need to help them with this. So those are some of the expectations that we have that we want to set up for our customer. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is some product support tips. Some tips that I have, and then where you can find even more tips, because it's really important that in order to really support your customers, you have to know what you're talking about. And you have to understand the products. And so I want to tell you briefly some quick things about our products, and then I want to point you to where you can find out even more. So a couple of quick tips that I like to share with people depending on which products they're taking, but always mix your pink drink in a small bit of room temperature water. That's going to help it to dissolve, and then add your cold water after it's dissolved. Our product is natural. It does not have extra chemicals and ingredients to dissolve it. So it doesn't dissolve in cold water. But it's unfair if we don't tell somebody that up front and they put it in ice cold water and then they're like, this stuff's terrible. It just sits at the bottom of the water. Before I learned this, I had somebody who was like just every day it was just clumping up, sitting at the bottom of her water, and she didn't tell me for like a month. And she's like, I don't think this is really working. Most of it's at the bottom of the water when I finish. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? She wasn't even taking most of it. And then she's like, I don't think this works. I'm like, oh geez. So I had to learn. I always tell people, mix it in a bit of room temperature water and then add your cold water once it's dissolved. BioCleanse is a huge one to explain to people the goal of the product. Take enough BioCleanse during the day to go to the bathroom. Number 2, 1 to 2 times a day. That is our goal. Some people need to take 1 a day. Some people need to take 6 a day. And so I always say to somebody, personally, I say start with 2 at nighttime, just because that's very easy to fit into your routine. When you're brushing your teeth, take 2 BioCleanse and 2 ProBio. But then I say, if you're not going to the bathroom 1 to 2 times a day, let's add in some BioCleanse during the day. If taking them at night gives you diarrhea, let's switch it up and you take them during the day. Take them with food, take them without food. Every person is different. We need to play around with that product to see what works best for you to help you to go to the bathroom 1 to 2 times a day. So I don't give them all of this information at once, but again, it's just kind of parsed throughout our conversations. These are the types of things I like to tell people. And these are just tips about the products right now. So X Factor is going to give you energy because of the B vitamins. It also has thiamine in it, which is great for your thyroid. Boost and Accelerator. Someone asked me this today, as a matter of fact. Boost and Accelerator are very similar. You would never, ever, ever take them both at the same time. Never. Some people take Boost for a month, and then they take Accelerator for a month, or Boost for 2 or 3 months, and then Accelerator for 2 or 3 months. But you never take them both at once because they do the same thing in different ways. They are both metabolism boosters. They are both have natural caffeine in them. They are both stimulants. They are both not suggested for people with heart issues. So they're a great product, but you need to know that about them and never take them both. Mega X is fantastic to take at night because for most people, because it helps aid in relaxation and it helps people to sleep better. So when I tell someone if they buy the Mega X, I say take your 2 capsules at bedtime. More than likely it's going to help you to sleep better and really just relax your body. Now, could there be that one person who is like, I couldn't sleep all night, I was just wide awake? Okay, what did you take? And you kind of talk about it. What, did you only take Mega X? Okay, let's try it in the morning. There's always that 1%. It's like Benadryl. Like most kids get really tired from Benadryl, but there's that one kid that's like wired and crazy when they take Benadryl. Like if that's your kid, then you give it to them, at a different time, or you don't give it to them at all, whatever. But Mega X, most people take at bedtime. ProBio 5, most people take at bedtime. It helps them to sleep. It's great to take on an empty stomach because if you take it with food, the first thing it's going to go in and do is digest the food you just ate. If you take it on an empty stomach, it's going to go in and start digesting and eating all the other stuff that's still sitting in your stomach that doesn't belong there. So more than likely, our bodies are pretty well set up to digest our food on their own, typically most of us. But we need that extra help digesting and getting rid of all that extra stuff that's in our gut. So take your ProBio at bedtime, and it doesn't waste its time eating food. It goes in and cleans everything else out. Again, there's that 1 in a million, probably more like 1 in 1,000, who is wide awake when they take ProBio. If someone says to me, man, I was on ProBio, I could not sleep. Okay, let's take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach and see if that helps you. And you just play around with it. You just talk with them and figure that kind of stuff out. BioCleanse, I talked about that 100 times already, so we're not going to go about that again. And then you're slim. Some people love to take it first thing in the morning. That replaces their coffee or whatever. Some people really prefer to take it mid-morning. I drink mine in the afternoon. It's like right after lunch, I drink my Slim. Is there a great reason for that? That's when I like it. So that's when I do it. When someone tells me I'm drinking my Slim first thing in the morning and I just still feel like I got hit by a train by 3 p.m., you know what I tell them? Try taking that Slim after lunch and see if that helps. You never know. It might help the person. I think that's why I do it, but I don't really know. But I wake up feeling fine in the morning, so I thought, well, I'll just put that off until another time, whatever. So I see Heather asked, do you recommend X Factor during the day since it gives you energy? Yes, absolutely. I tell people to take X Factor first thing in the morning. I have heard there are some people who take X Factor at bedtime. Mitzi on our team, who I don't know if she's on the call or not, but Mitzi can't even take 2 X Factors. She's a tiny little thing. I mean, she's just totally petite, but she only takes 1 because it gives her so much energy. She doesn't even it's like crazy energy with 2. So she takes 1 a day. Never heard of anybody else having that much energy. But certainly the majority of people take X Factor first thing in the morning, not at night. So, okay, and then how do I know all this? Well, because I've been doing this for 22 months, but because I took the time to learn about it. So go to YouTube and put in the name of a product. Put in product training, put in Plexus product training, put in Plexus training, whatever it is you want to, whatever it is that you want to learn about, go to YouTube and just Google it, essentially. You're not on Google, you're on YouTube. Talk to people on our team, ask them what they take, listen to what they say on these testimonies, find out what different people are taking find out what your upline takes, find out what her upline takes or his. Listen to testimonials whenever you can find them. Go back and watch some of the old testimonials that are on the Plexus YouTube page, read testimonials that are out on Facebook, be on trainings like this for sure, take notes, and then use your resources. I Google lots of stuff, even about our products, just to see blogs that have been written about it, just to see, you know, sometimes it'll pull up Facebook posts just by hitting Google and going, you know, plexus, X factor, thyroid, and see what comes up on Google. And you'll see articles that just talk about the thiamine and what it does to your thyroid, and then research thiamine. Let me go look up what thiamine is and what does it do, so I'm more knowledgeable. I might not be able to blast that on Facebook, but I can have a conversation with someone and be educated and know what our products do. Use your back office library and multimedia library. They're in your back office under communications. And then also use your knowledge base, which is in your library as well. And that's a full searchable Plexus database, kind of like informational database. And then in Facebook groups, you can use the magnifying glass and search that way to find information. But, you know, like I said in the beginning, the biggest thing is to learn, and the best ways to learn are to do research, to watch product videos, to search in the different Facebook groups, and then to ask your upline. Always do a little bit of searching at least first before you start asking your upline questions, and just kind of to close and to remember that your role is to ask your upline, and if they don't know the answer, they will ask their upline, and if they don't know the answer, they will ask their upline, and it goes up and up and up until it gets to the top of whoever. I mean, it could be that it goes all the way up through me, through Haley, or, you know, even higher if we had to. But there's no doubt if you get 3 or 4 or 5 deep in your upline support, you're going to find somebody who knows the answer. But don't skip over 4 people to jump to somebody you know knows the answer, because everybody in that line deserves the right to learn and grow with you. So they either know the answer and they can help you, or they don't know the answer and they need to learn as well. So we have to keep that kind of chain of command. I don't know what you'd even call that, but there's just kind of a policy of how we do things. So that is how, after you've done all your research, you would start asking questions. So did we answer all questions? Y'all have any more questions? I hope this was helpful. Get a calendar for real. That's like seriously helpful. And follow up, be a cheerleader. Everybody wants a cheerleader, and they really appreciate the support and encouragement. Don't be fake, be real. But, you know, put that extra energy into really cheering and supporting them and encouraging them. And you'll do great. So awesome. Thanks, everybody, for being on the call. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Bye.